What's up guys, and welcome to F1 2018. It is finally here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it, and this is my first video on the game. We're doing a bit of an experiment today. Hopefully I'll be doing a few more of these over the course of the game cycle. But yeah, today's one is going to be a reverse grid race. Just basically, I want to see how good the AI are at overtaking and what the finishing results are going to be in a reverse grid race. So you'll see what the starting positions are in a moment's time. But yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to say the least. So I'm going to be driving as Lance Stroll. So it's a bit of me driving and a bit of, you know, people going through the field as well. So you'll see that we've got the Mercedes and Ferraris and Red Bulls at the back of the grid. So they occupy 15th down to 20th place. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how many cars they can overtake in the first 5 laps of the race. Now, I'm actually doing this through the Championships mode, which allows you to do a reverse grid race. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing that you can't do more than a 5-lap race. You know, it's 2018 and we still can't do custom grids, which is really annoying. I'd love to see that in next year's game. Without further ado now, let's get into the racing. So we're starting on pole position. So yeah, I'm going to be flicking between my POV and the replay cameras, but we go to the 5 red lights for the first race on the game, and away we go. It's actually not a bad start. A lot better than my starts on F1 2017, that's for sure. And our teammate Sergei Sorokin there starting in P2. Doesn't look as if he's closing in too much, and now it's going to be interesting to see how aggressive the AI are into turn 1. Sorokin braking very late. Now, we didn't brake early by any means, but interesting to see the AI's aggression. Once again, Sorokin putting his nose down the inside, something you would not have seen in previous years' games. And we're now going to go side by side almost with our teammate, but I think we've just about got the position as we head now into the next chicane. So now we've got Pierre Gasly, in fact, sticking his nose down on Sorokin. So really, really good to see that up at the front, the AI are a lot more aggressive. And yes, Gasly does get into P2. Now we are going to take a look at the start from the perspective of the Mercedes, Ferraris, Red Bulls, and everyone at the back of the grid. So it's going to be interesting to see how many positions they can make up on lap 1. As you see Kimi Raikkonen there, who is the furthest forward of the front runners, trying to look for a move on one of the Renault cars. I believe it is Nico Hülkenberg that he's trying to get past, but still no can do as they go through turn 3, and the rest of the cars really struggling currently. So it's only Raikkonen who's looking for a move. It is in fact on Carlos Sainz as they go into turn 4. They're running side by side. It looks as if Vettel is waiting in the wings, but still very much struggling to get past any of the cars currently, as finally Raikkonen dispatches of Carlos Sainz. But yeah, he's up into P14, and now his teammate Sebastian Vettel trying to follow him through the stadium section. A bit of an unorthodox overtaking opportunity, but still he will try and get past him. And now it's going to be intriguing to see who has got the straight line speed as they go through Mansell Corner and on to this main straight, one of the longest on the F1 calendar. And you'd think that the Ferrari would have the power, considering in the real life 2018 season the Ferrari is probably the quickest in the straight line, but he's only just about got the legs on the Renault engine, as one of the Red Bulls, I believe Daniel Ricciardo, also trying to follow Vettel through, but he just can't quite do it. Anyway, Vettel is up into P15, I believe, currently. And also at the start of lap 2, his teammate Kimi Raikkonen, well, that was a lot easier. He's gaining a lot of speed on that McLaren Renault, and considering that McLaren has exactly the same engine as the Renault car that Vettel was trying to pass, that was a hell of a lot easier, showing that the McLaren car in this game is incredibly slow in a straight line. But anyway, going back on board with ourselves, obviously in Lance Stroll's Williams, the first lap was pretty easy to just sort of like try and stay ahead. Showing that the ERS deployment is going to be absolutely vital on this game, especially if you're in a slower car. It's all about deploying that ERS in the correct position. Anyway, going on board with Kimi Raikkonen now, who is trying to get past the other Renault of Nico Hülkenberg. And interestingly enough, Carlos Sainz is back past Sebastian Vettel. Now, I believe this was when they were getting past the McLaren of Stoffel van Dorn. So, yeah, very much struggling is that Ferrari of Vettel, but he gets back past Sainz and up into P14, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure, but still, it's not a lot of ground that he's made up, which is, yeah, very surprising, because we did this on F1 2017, and the Mercedes and Ferraris just absolutely blitzed everyone else. So yeah, pretty surprising, but going back on board with ourselves, and we are still leading at the end of lap 3, as you can see, once again saving up all of our ERS for this main straight. So going on to overtake as Gasly sets the fastest lap of the race, but surely that Honda engine won't be powerful enough, and yeah, you can see we're still pulling away from Gasly, even though he has DRS and we don't, but that ERS very much doing us a favour, as is the Mercedes engine in at the back. But as we look further down the field, it's just a train. I mean, everyone is just forming in a train behind me. And I think it's the fact that, you know, everyone is sort of, like, there's not a major pace difference between any car, especially in the midfield. But anyway, now we've got Charles Leclerc trying for a move for P2. So he gets past Pierre Gasly, and now he may look for a move on ourselves into turn 1. But no, he just slots in behind us. And now we've really got to be wary, because Leclerc is pretty quick in at that Sauber. He's made up a few positions. He had a poor start, but he's back up into P2 now. And you can see he's going for a move round the outside of us, showing the aggression that the AI can have. And he has actually got that move done. So fair play to him. We try and get the sort of the switchback move, but it doesn't work. And it looks like Leclerc is going to take victory here. So he's got past us on the final lap. Fair play to him. Nothing I could really do. And as we look further down the order, the only thing that has been easy in this race for the Red Bulls, Ferraris and Mercedes is getting past the the McLaren of Stoffel Van Dorn. Poor Stoffel, poor guy with that terrible engine in the back of the car. It's just a terrible car, really. So yeah, even the Renault engine of the Red Bull can get past the Renault engine of the McLaren with ease. But yeah, still, you know, just look at this train of cars. There's the Renault of Carlos Sainz. So not even either of the Mercedes can get past that Renault. It's only really the Ferraris that could get past. And even so, you know, Raikkonen couldn't get past the other Renault of Hulkenberg. But anyway, we come up towards the final few corners now, and Charles Leclerc, what a drive it was from him. You know, he got past us and absolutely bolted. There was no chance that we were going to get back past. So Charles Leclerc takes the first victory on this channel on F1 2018. Not something I thought I'd be saying, but Lance Stroll takes P2. And as we go towards these final few corners, sure enough, no way past for Raikkonen whatsoever, as he takes P13, I believe. We're going to take a look at these final standings now. But yeah, absolutely bizarre race. I was expecting a lot better from the AI further back in the field. But like I say, I think it's the fact that there wasn't much of a pace difference between a lot of those midfield runners, meaning that it's pretty difficult for them to get past. But you'd think with a massive straight there that definitely the Mercedes and Ferraris would be able to get past. But sure enough, I was proven wrong, and there wasn't a lot of overtaking in the end. So we'll take a look at the final standings in a moment's time, but just look at that for a podium. Who'd have thought that would be my first podium of F1 at 2018? I, for one, would not have thought that. Anyway, so there are the final standings. So Marcus Ericsson finishing P5 with our teammate Sirotkin in P4. He lost a couple of positions. But if you just look at that, like, not many of the drivers have finished far away from their finishing positions. I know it was only a 5-lap race, but still. Still interesting to see. So Raikkonen finished in 13th, having started 15th. Vettel made up 5 positions in 5 laps. I guess you could say that's a lot, but in reality, I think it probably would have been maybe even more in real life. So yeah, intriguing. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on what happened. They can see poor Stoffel Van Dorn started in the top 10, finished stone dead last. Everybody overtook him. You could see how slow that McLaren was. Although his teammate Alonso, who seems really OP on this game, still managed with it. But anyway, that is it for my first video on F1 2018. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear feedback as always. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. Do take care. Bye-bye.